Hi kids, in this video we are going to solve exercise 12.2 from L Aggarwal based on equation of a straight line. I've already explained the entire thing. Just a recap, this exercise is based on when the two lines are parallel and perpendicular to each other. Now look carefully, when the two lines are parallel to each other, I've drawn the line L and M parallel to each other, then don't you think the angle which the two lines makes with the positive x-axis will be same? So I can say theta 1 is equal to theta 2 if two lines are parallel, which means can I write tan of theta 1 is equal to tan of theta 2, which means can I write m1 is equal to m2 if m1 is the slope of the first line and m2 is the slope of the second line. So if the two lines are parallel to each other, their slopes are equal. Then what happens if two lines are perpendicular to each other? See, I've taken the line L and M perpendicular to each other. Okay, the line L makes an angle theta 1 with the positive x-axis, and the line M makes an angle theta 2 with the positive x-axis. Now look carefully. Can I write, if you look at this triangle, theta 2 is equal to 90 plus theta 1? I can write, which means if I take tangent on both sides, so tan theta 2 is equal to tan 90 plus theta 1. This is exterior angle equals to sum of opposite interior angle. Okay, now look carefully. We just need to remember one thing. Tan 90 plus theta is nothing but minus cot theta, which means this will be minus cot theta 1. This we will study in class 11. Tan 90 plus theta is equal to minus cot theta. Remember this, okay? Now, see, now over here can I write tan theta 2 equals to minus cot is the reciprocal of tan, so can I write 1 by tan theta 1, which means this comes over here. So tan theta 1 multiplied by tan theta 2 is equal to minus 1. Now tangent of theta 1 is the slope of the line L, which is suppose m1, and the slope of the second line is tan theta 2, which is suppose m2. So this is minus 1. So when two lines are perpendicular to each other, then when the product of the slope is equal to minus 1. Am I clear? Now let us look at the sums from the exercise. Now look at sum number 2 from exercise 12.2. If 6x plus 5y minus 7 equals to 0 and 2px plus 5y plus 1 equals to 0 are parallel lines, which means the slopes will be equal, find the value of p. Simple. Find the slope of both the lines. First, express in the form of y equals to mx plus c. Look over here. I'll make y the subject. So 5y equals to minus 6x plus 7, which means y equals to minus 6x by 5 plus 7 by 5, which means the slope m1 is minus 6 by 5. Now same this equation. See, 5y equals to minus 2px minus 1, which means y equals to minus 2px by 5 minus 1 by 5, which means the slope m2 is nothing but the coefficient of x, which is minus 2p by 5. Now since they are parallel, the slopes will be equal. So can I say, according to the problem ATTP, minus 6 by 5 is equal to minus 2p by 5, which means when you solve p equals to 3. Done. Okay, look at question 3 now. Line 2x minus by plus 5 equals to 0 and ax plus 3y equals to 2 are parallel. Again, the slopes will be equal. Find the relation connecting a and b. Same logic. Look over here. I'll find the slope. So I can write 2x plus 5 equals to by, or 2x by b plus 5 by b equals to y, which means slope m1 is the coefficient of x, which is 2 by b. Now this line, if you look carefully, 3y is equal to 2 minus ax, which means y equals to 2 by 3 minus ax by 3, which means the slope m2 is equal to coefficient of x, which is minus a by 3. Now they will be equal. So according to the problem, we can say 2 by b is equal to minus a by 3, which means minus ab equals to 6. So I can write ab equals to minus 6. Isn't it? Am I clear? So this was the relation connecting a and b. Now look at question 4. If the straight line 3x minus 5y plus 7 equals to 0 and 4x plus ay plus 9 equals to 0 are perpendicular, find the value of a. Now they are perpendicular, which means the product of this slope will be equal to minus 1. Now look carefully. First of all, find the slope of this. Look, 3x plus 7 equals to 5y, which means 3x by 5 plus 7 by 5 equals to y, which means the slope m1 equals to 3 by 5. No doubt in that. Find the slope of this line. Same manner. Ay equals to minus 4x minus 9. Y equals to minus 4 by ax minus 9 by a, which means the slope m2 is minus 4 by a, the coefficient of x. Because this is in the form of y equals to mx plus c, where m is the slope. Now, they are perpendicular, which means according to the problem, if I multiply them 3 by 5 multiplied by minus 4 by a, the slope, the product of the slope is equal to minus 1, which means minus minus cancels. 12 by 5a equals to 1, which means a equals to 12 by 5. So that's your answer. Clear? Now let us look at the next sum. Now look at number 6. Is the line through minus 2 comma 3 and 4 comma 1, which means the point, suppose PQ. Now there is a line through these two, is perpendicular to another line, 3x equals to y plus 1, the first part. And does the line this bisects the join of this? First part is very easy. Find the slope of the line passing through these 2 points. We know m1 slope is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. This will be y2 means 1 minus 3, x2 minus x1, 4, minus of minus 2 is plus 2, that's minus 2 by 6, that's minus 1 by 3. Find the slope of this line. So y equals to, you can write though, y equals to 3x minus 1, which means the slope m2 is 3. Now the product of slope, if you see, m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1 by 3 multiplied by 3, which is minus 1, which clearly says, it implies that they are perpendicular to each other. The product is minus 1. The first part is done, okay? The second part is interesting. Does the line 3x equals to y plus 1 bisects the join of this and this? Bisects means divide the line segment joining P and Q into 2 equal half. Just find the midpoint of PQ. If the midpoint of PQ lies on the line, which means satisfies the line, our question is solved. Let us see. First is minus 2, 3, and your Q is 4, 1. Find the midpoint. Suppose this is R, x comma y. So your x will be minus 2 plus 4 by 2. Midpoint we know, x1 plus x2 by 2, which is 2 by 2, that's 1. And y is again 3 plus 1 by 2, which means 4 by 2, that's 2. So the midpoint is 1 comma 2. Now if this point lies on this line, which means satisfies this line, okay, then we can say that this line bisects the joint. Let us see. What is the 3x equals to y plus 1? So instead of x, if we put in the left hand side 3x, so 3 into 1, that's 3. And in the RHS, can we put, instead of y, we can put 1, so that's 2, we can put 2. So 2 plus 1 is 3. See, the LHS and the RHS are same, which means this point lies on 3x equals to y plus 1, which means that this bisects the join of these 2 points. Done. Simple. Now let us see sum number 7. The line through A minus 2, 3 and B, 4 comma B is perpendicular to the line this 2x minus 4y equals to 5. Find B. Find the slope of the line passing through AB. Find the slope of this, and the product of the slope is minus 1. Let us see. First of all, the slope m1 is y2, which is b minus y1, x2 minus x1, which is minus or minus 2 is plus 2, which means b minus 3 by 6. Done. Slope of this, I'll make y the subject, so 2x minus 5 equals to 4y, which means 2x by 4 minus 5 by 4 equals to y, which means the slope m2 is 2 by 4, which is 1 by 2. Now they are perpendicular, which means m1 multiplied by m2 will be minus 1. m1 is b minus 3 by 6, m2 is 1 by 2, that's equal to minus 1. 6 2s are 12, so b minus 3 equals to minus 12, which means b equals to minus 12 plus 3, which means b equals to minus 9. Solved. Now let us see the next sum. Now look at sum number 8. If the lines 3x plus y equals to 4, x minus ay plus 7 equals to 0 and bx plus 2y plus 5 equals to 0 form 3 consecutive sides of a rectangle, find a and b, which means simple. See, if suppose these are the 3 sides, I'll take this side as 3x plus y equals to 4. I take this as x minus ay plus 7 equals to 0. This has bx plus 2y plus 5 equals to 0. Now look carefully. I'll first find the slope of this. See, y equals to minus 3x plus 4, which means m1 will be minus 3. Done. I'll find the slope of this. Look, x plus 7 equals to ay, which means x by a plus 7 by a equals to y, which means slope m2 is 1 by a, the coefficient of x. Similarly, the slope of this line, look over here, so this is 2y equals to minus bx minus 5, which means y equals to minus bx by 2 minus 5 by 2, which means m3 is minus b by 2. Now look carefully. These two lines are perpendicular, which means the product of these two slope will be minus 1. So can I say m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1. Now m1 is minus 3, m2 is 1 by a equals to minus 1. So a is 3. Done. Now look carefully. This line and this line, they are parallel to each other. So m1 will be equal to m3. The slopes will be equal. So can I write minus 3 equals to minus b by 2, which means b equals to 6. Done. Okay. Now let us see sum number 9. Find the equation of a line which has the y-intercept 4, which means y-intercept is 4, which means the line passes through the point 0, 4. We can write that. And is parallel to the line. This is parallel to 2x minus 3y minus 7 equals to 0. Find the coordinate of the point where it cuts the x-axis. First of all, see, y-intercept was given. From here, can I get the slope of this line? Look, 2x minus 7 equals to 3y. So 2x by 3 minus 7 by 3 equals to y, which means m1 is 2 by 3. Now, our original line, which makes a y-intercept 4, is parallel to this, which means m1 equals to m2 is equal to 2 by 3. Suppose m2 is the slope of our line. Now, we don't need this point also. See, we have slope, we have y-intercept. So use the formula y equals to mx plus c, where m is the slope. So y equals to 2 by 3x plus c. C is the y-intercept, which is 4. So this is the equation of the line. Am I clear or not? Now in the second part they've asked, find the coordinate of the point where it cuts the x-axis. Now where it cuts the x-axis, any point on x-axis will take x comma 0 and we'll substitute this in our line to get the point on the x-axis. See, instead of y, put 0. Simple. Which means this becomes 0 equals to 2x plus 12 by 3, which means 2x equals to minus 12, x equals to minus 6, which means your point will be minus 6 comma 0, which means this line intersect x-axis at minus 6 comma 0. Clear? Now let us look at the next sum. Now look at sum number 10. Find the equation of a line perpendicular to 2x plus 5y plus 7 equals to 0 and with y-intercept minus 3, which means you need to find the equation of a line whose y-intercept is known to you, minus 3, and this line is perpendicular to this line. Now with the help of perpendicular relation that m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, we can get the slope of this line. See how? First of all, get the slope of this line. See, 5y equals to minus 2x minus 7, which means y equals to minus 2x by 5 minus 7 by 5, which means m1 is equal to minus 2 by 5. Suppose the slope over here is m2. Then these two are perpendicular. So can I write m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to minus 1, the product? So m1 is minus 2 by 5 multiplied by m2 is minus 1. So m2 is 5 by 2. Now you have the slope and you have y-intercept. So we know how to write the equation. Y equals to mx plus c. So y equals to 5 by 2x plus of minus 3. So that's, we can write as y equals to 5 by 2x minus 3. So that's your equation, isn't it? Done. Now let us see sum number 11, which says find the equation of a straight line perpendicular to this line, perpendicular to 3x minus 4y plus 12, okay, and having y-intercept as 2x minus y plus 5 equals to 0, which means the y-intercept of this line and the required line is same. First of all, calculate the slope. See, 3x plus 12 equals to 4y, or we can say 3x by 4 plus 12 by 4 equals to y, which means m1 equals to 3 by 4. Now, over here, for the required line, suppose m2 is the slope, then m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, which means 3 by 4 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, which means m2 is minus 4 by 3, which means we got m2 as minus 4 by 3. Now one more thing, the c-intercept, the y-intercept, which is c. The y-intercept of this line and our required line is c. First find the y-intercept of this line. Can we write this as 2x plus 5 equals to y, which means y-intercept is 5. Look carefully. Y equals to mx plus c, where c is the y-intercept, which means in this case also the y-intercept will be same according to the problem. Now you have the slope, you have y-intercept. What will be the equation of the line? Using these two, y equals to mx plus c. So y equals to minus 4 by 3 x plus 5. Am I clear? Now let us look at the next sum. Now look at sum number 12. Find the equation of a line. We need to find the equation of a line which passes through 0, 4, which means a point is given 0, 4, and it is parallel to the line 3x plus 5y plus 15 equals to 0, which means the slope of this line and the slope of required line will be same. First find the slope of this line. We know how to find. 5y equals to minus 3x minus 15. So y equals to minus 3x by 5 minus 15 by 5. So your slope m1 is minus 3 by 5. Since these two lines are parallel, okay, so the slope m2 over here will be minus 3 by 5. Now we know a point and we know the slope, so we'll use the point slope form, which was the second one over here. See, equation of the line, equation of the required line, you can say y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1, where x1 y1 is the given point and m is the slope. So y minus 4 equals to minus 3 by 5 x minus 0. 5 comes over here, 5y minus 20 equals to minus 3x, or 5y plus 3x equals to 20. So that's your equation. Done. Very easy. Now look number 30. Write down the equation of a line perpendicular to this and passing through minus 1, minus 2. Again, same. See, you need to find the equation of a line. The point is given, minus 1, minus 2, and slope. Now, this line and the required line are perpendicular. So first find the slope of this. Look over here, 8y equals to minus 3x plus 12, or y equals to minus 3x by 8 plus 12 by 8, which means m1 is minus 3 by 8. Now they are perpendicular, so suppose this is m2. Then the product m1 multiplied by m2 will be minus 1, which means m1 is minus 3 by 8 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, which means m2 is 8 by 3, which means we got m2 as what? 8 by 3. Now we have a point, we have the slope. So we'll use the point slope form. The equation of the required line is y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1, isn't it? So this is x1, y1. So y minus of minus 2 is plus 2. M is 8 by 3. X minus of minus 1 is plus 1, isn't it? 3 comes over here. So 3y plus 6 equals to 8x plus 8. So 3y equals to 8x. 8 minus 6 is plus 2. So that's your equation. Clear? Now let us look at the next sum. Now look at sum number 14. There are two parts. The first part says the line 4x minus 3y plus 12 equals to 0 meets the x-axis at A. Write down the coordinate of it. We know your A is, suppose, x comma 0. Any point on x-axis is x comma 0. Now how do you find the point on x-axis? In the line, just substitute y as 0. Okay, so 4x minus 3 into 0 plus 12 equals to 0, which means 4x equals to minus 12, x equals to minus 3, which means your point A will be minus 3 comma 0. Done. The first part is done. The second part, determine the equation of a line passing through A, which means your required line passes through A and is perpendicular to 4x minus 3y plus 12 equals to 0. So first find the slope of this. So 4x plus 12 equals to 3y, I can say, which means 4x by 3 plus 12 by 3 equals to y, which means slope m1 is 4 by 3. Now suppose the slope over here of the required line is m2, suppose. Then the product of these two has to be minus 1 because they are perpendicular, which means m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, which means m2 is minus 3 by 4, isn't it? Now you have a point, you have the slope. So how to get the equation? Point slope form. Y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. Substitute the value. So y minus 0 is equal to minus 3 by 4. X minus of minus 3, that's plus 3. So 4 goes over here. So 4y equals to minus 3x minus 9, or 3x plus 4y plus 9 equals to 0. So that's your equation. Required line, okay? Done. Now look at number 15. Find the equation of a line parallel to 2x plus 5y minus 7 equals to 0, which means the slope of the required line and the slope of this line will be same, okay? And what they have told, and passes through the midpoint of the line segment joining the point 2, 7 and minus 4 comma 1, which means your required line passes through the midpoint of this. So if you find the midpoint of this, your line will pass through that point. So we'll have the point and slope. Look, first find the slope. So 2x plus 5y minus 7 equals to 0. 5y equals to minus 2x plus 7, or y equals to minus 2x by 5 plus 7 by 5, which means m1 is minus 2 by 5. So your m2 will be minus 2 by 5 because they are parallel to each other. Now the point is, how do you get? You find the midpoint of this. Now suppose P is 2 comma 7, suppose Q is minus 4 comma 1, and suppose R is the midpoint. So how do you get R, the coordinate of R? X will be what? x1 plus x2 by 2, which is minus 1, and y will be what? y1 plus y2 by 2, that's 4, which means your point will be minus 1 comma 4, and your line passes through this point, the midpoint. So we have a point also over here. Now you have a point, you have the slope. Just use the point slope form. Y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. Look carefully. So y minus 4 equals to minus 2 by 5. X minus of minus 1 is plus 1. So 5y minus 20 equals to minus 2x minus 2, which means 5y plus 2x minus 18 equals to 0. So that's your equation of the required line. Okay. Now let us see the next sum. Now look at sum number 18. The equation of a line 3x plus 4y minus 7 equals to 0. Okay. Find the slope of this line. Very easy. Make y the subject. So 4y equals to minus 3x plus 7, which means y equals to minus 3x by 4 plus 7 by 4, which means the slope, or m1, is equal to minus 3 by 4. No doubt in that. Now this said, second part. Find the equation of a line perpendicular to this. Your required line is perpendicular to this, and which passing through the intersection of the line x minus y plus 2 equals to 0 and 3x plus y minus 10 equals to 0, which means your required line passes through the point of intersection of these two lines. Now our main priority is to get the point of intersection of these two lines. How? Just simplify it or solve it. We know how to solve it. X minus y plus 2 equals to 0. Simultaneous equation. So if you simply add it, this cancels out. So 4x minus 8 equals to 0, or x equals to 2, isn't it? Put the value of x in any of the equations. Suppose I put it in the first equation. So 2 minus y plus 2 equals to 0, or 4 equals to y, which means the point of intersection of these two lines is 2 comma 4. Now your required line passes through this point only, isn't it? And this is perpendicular to this line. So suppose the slope is m2. Suppose. Then m1 multiplied by m2 is minus 1, which means m2 is 4 by 3. So your m2 is 4 by 3. Now you have a point, you have a slope. Use the point slope form. Y minus y1 equals to m x minus x1. So y minus 4 equals to 4 by 3 x minus 2. So that's 3y minus 12 equals to 4x minus 8, which means 3y equals to 4x plus 4. Am I clear? So this is your equation. Now let us look at the next sum. Now look at sum number 19. Very interesting. Find the equation of a line perpendicular from the point, which means your required line passes through the point 1 comma minus 2. From the point 1 comma minus 2 on the line 4x minus 3y minus 5 equals to 0, which means these two lines are perpendicular. See, find the equation of the line perpendicular from the point this on the line this. Okay, Also find the coordinate of the foot of the perpendicular. First look at the first part. Okay, now we know how to do. Find the slope of this. So this will be 4x minus 5 equals to 3y, or 4x by 3 minus 5 by 3 equals to y, which means your slope m1 is 4 by 3. Suppose the slope over here is m2. Then we know m1 multiplied by m2 will be minus 1. So m2 will be minus 3 by 4, which means the slope we got is minus 3 by 4. Now we have a point, we have a slope. So we'll use point slope form. Y minus y1 equals to mx minus x1. So y minus or minus 2 is plus 2 is equal to minus 3 by 4 x minus 1. So 4 goes over here. 4y plus 8 equals to minus 3x plus 3, or 4y plus 3x. This is plus 5 equals to 0. Look over here. Now the first part is done. Now the second part. They told find the coordinate of the foot of the perpendicular. See, these two lines were perpendicular. So this is the foot of the perpendicular. How to find that? Solve the two equations. Now the first equation is 4x minus 3y minus 5 equals to 0. And the second equation we got 3x plus 4y plus 5 equals to 0. Okay, this is your first equation. This is your second equation. Suppose I multiply this by 4 and I multiply this by 3. I'm doing by elimination method. I'm trying to eliminate y. You can do by any method your wish. So that's 16x minus 12y minus 20 equals to 0. That's 9x plus 12y plus 15 equals to 0, which means this cancels out. The 16 plus 9 is how much? 25x, and this is minus 5 equals to 0, or x equals to 5 by 25. That's 1 by 5. Done. Now put the value of x in any of the equations. Suppose I take number 2 equation. So thrice of x plus 4 times y plus 5 equals to 0, which means 4y equals to minus 5, and this will be minus 3 by 5, which is minus 25 minus 3. So 4y is minus 28 by 5, which means y equals to minus 28 by 5 into 4. 4 ones are 4 sevens are. So minus 7 by 5, which means the foot of the perpendicular will be 1 by 5 comma minus 7 by 5. Am I clear or not? This is the answer for the second part. Okay, now let us look at the next sum. Now let us look at sum number 20. Okay, prove that the line through this 2 point through 0 0 and 2 comma 3 is parallel to the line through, suppose P 2 comma minus 2 and Q 6 comma 4. These two lines are parallel, we need to prove. Okay, very easy. Find the slope over here, find the slope over here. If they're equal, they're parallel. When 2 points are given, how do you find the slope? M1, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, that's 3 by 2. Done. Over here M2, again y2 minus y1, that's 4. Minus or minus 2 is plus 2, and x2 minus x1, so that's 6 by 4, that's 3 by 2. Clearly M1 is equal to M2, which means the two lines are parallel to each other. Done. Keep it till here in this video. In the next video, we'll solve the rest of the sum. Till then, take care.